Where are these jobs, in what industries are these jobs mostly being sought?
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me on.
You bet.
The job industries that these jobs are in are vast. They're unique. Some are different. Right now, biggest surge is tax preparers and licensed therapists. So when you just look at what's under the numbers, we have about a 25 to 30x. So if job postings have tripled, number of job postings for remote work or flexible work have grown by 25 to 30x on any given month in our site. And the trend is holding and continuing. And it is jobs that haven't always been at home. I will say the other thing is right now we have an incredible surge in community and social service jobs, and many of those are remote licensed social and therapy work.
A lot of the jobs you mentioned, we have a different sort of screen on our board there that shows that transportation jobs are going unfilled, and others like it. We'll get to the healthcare. We'll get to those in just a moment. It would seem to me that there is not just a mismatch of numbers, but there's got to be a mismatch of skills. In other words, there aren't enough licensed clinical social workers to fill the demand for licensed clinical social workers in different markets across the country. There may be plenty in New York, but not enough in Oklahoma City. I don't know, but you get my point here. Is there a skills mismatch that explains a lot of this?
There's a skills gap that's coming, Tyler. So if we think about just what happened with nurses over this last couple of years, like the trend on nurse demand looks very much like the COVID case demand, right? We came down slightly this month as Omicron subsides. The similar trend is coming on licensed therapists, social workers, substance abuse, mental health. It's up double or triple digit in every single state in the country. So I think about what's the downstream impact of the last couple of years. That's what's coming at us, and how we prepare for that, how we accommodate that. We have similar trends coming in education. In our site, demand for education workers from preschool to vocational school is up 1,000% year over year. So the new trends coming out of reopening the economy, it is some of the obvious stuff, restaurants are opening, but then there are these other sort of macro trends that will result in a new skill gap.
And there's also a huge surge in job postings for transportation and warehousing, which tells us that those supply chain bottlenecks are not yet resolved yet. Do you overall kind of paint this, Susan, as a picture of still strong demand for labor? We're going to get a key reading from the government tomorrow morning, obviously.
Yeah, we see really strong demand. It's a relentless, frenetic pace. It's reopening. It's the quitters quitting and some jumping back in, some not. It's new jobs. It's company growth. It's all of it. And we don't see anything letting up. There's a tremendous amount of activity out there. Skill gap is real, both for the job seeker and for the employer. And there's a lot of creativity going on to try to solve those problems. Can you pick up on anything that's happening in terms of wage pressures and trends there? Yeah, we definitely see wage pressure, but we also see companies doing really interesting things we haven't seen before to compete. So I'll give you a couple of examples. I was talking to a head of manufacturing for a pharmaceutical company the other day. For the first time ever, they have a shift that is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., reconnoitered the plants to accommodate that shift, and they have a happy bunch of people that can work from 9 to 3 because they have childcare duties, and they picked up a group of workers they wouldn't have otherwise had access to. That's one example. Another example we see, for a while in a prior economy, companies weren't always willing to spend money on the reskilling because they pick up in place. They're doing a fair amount of reskilling right now, training, putting people in emergency.
All right, Susan, we got to leave it there. Thank you very much, Susan Arthur.